Hey guys, I'm SKV and you're watching SKV Plays On, and welcome to another video of Dauntless. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you like it a bit more, please do subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let me get straight to the point. This particular video is about my builds for the strikers, the Aether strikers. I have 4 builds, which of course I'll put the link in the description for all 4 of them using the Dauntless builder website, where you can make your own builds and you can link it so that others can check it out. I'll put the Dauntless builder links for each of them. I have 4 builds, obviously, like I said, and the first 2 are the Umbral and Radiant builds, which I have, and then the other 2 are the Fire and Ice. So I have 4 builds. It's not necessary that you have to have this, but obviously in this game you can keep changing any armor part to your liking or to your gameplay style, which suits you, and also you can change any of the cells, obviously. So after kind of watching this video, you can probably tamper with the builds yourself, see what makes it more better or what makes it kind of more suitable for you. But these are the 4 things that I wanted to share that I'm having fun with a lot. Let me get straight to the point about my builds. The Umbral build which I have is using the Riftstalker Umbral strikers. So it kind of gives me Wild Frenzy, which kind of makes this build for attack speed and a little bit of damage, and also stagger. Then I have the Radiant build where I'm using the Razakiri strikers, which kind of gives me cunning, and also I'm using discipline, so it makes it a crit type of damage build, but it does not have speed. And then the other one is the Fire type elemental where I'm using the Hellion strikers. This one also has stagger, it also has overpowered, and also has Rage and Rage Hunter. Pretty much this is a powerhouse, I would say. But then again, this one doesn't have speed of attack, but the strikers by default already has a decent amount of speed when it comes to attacking, so you guys can manage for sure. But this one is definitely a powerhouse. If you want to kind of mess around with the build and maybe introduce like I don't know, Molten or even Evasive Fury just to increase the attack speed, you can do that. Or you can kind of mess around with one of the armor sets and try to get like a cell slot which kind of gives you, I don't know, technique cell slots, which kind of helps you have Wild Frenzy again for attack speed. You can do whatever you want. Obviously some of the builds don't have +6 conduit on my builds, so don't worry about that. And the next and last one is the Ice type, which again is a stagger type, again has Rage, overpowered and knockout, but this one doesn't have Rage Hunter, as you can see, like the Fire one. But what it does have is Discipline, which kind of helps out a lot. The previous Fire type doesn't have Discipline, so it doesn't start off with a 50% health bar. Okay, what you guys need to know about my builds is that I'm a fan of Iceborne cell, which kind of helps me keep my health at 50% and have the Iceborne effect of reducing 30% damage that is incoming from the behemoth, meaning whatever damage that the behemoth does to you, Iceborne, when it's active, it will reduce it by 30%. I don't know if it's broken right now, but I do feel like it doesn't do the reduction it used to do. I still get one shot sometimes by Shroud, or maybe it's just some particular attacks have really high damage, which I really need to watch out for. But yeah, anyways, that's the whole point about me using the Iceborne build most of the time, and I always try to include it. It kind of helps me out with the attack speed build, which I really like with the Stalker strikers. Stalker striker. Oh, that's kind of catchy. Anyways, again, what you guys need to know is that I haven't kind of lost Iceborne just to make space for any other extra damage perk. So I pretty much have a balanced build where I can kind of stay alive without using potions, as long as I'm dodging and still hitting the behemoth and doing high damage with the strikers. And my god, the strikers do a lot of damage, which means higher the damage, the faster you get healing from Iceborne, all the way up to 50% of your health bar. So definitely do check it out. All these builds definitely has Iceborne in it, so you don't have to worry about getting killed too quickly and wasting all your potions, health potions especially, so you don't have to waste it. Anyways, I'll put the links again. I'll put the links in the description for all the builds that I'm using. And now it's time, after all that talking and explaining, that you guys can obviously change whatever you want from these builds that I'll put in the link. You can always change it up to your liking. And obviously these are not low life builds, which means new players may not be able to get access to some of the armor parts way too quickly in the game. But some of the armor parts, like the Pangar parts and Dreadfrost, Boreas and Karabakh, those are definitely available. So those you can get to it quickly, I'm guessing. I don't think they're not like the armor parts like Embermanes or armor part of Drask that you can get way too quickly at the beginning itself. But at a certain stage when you reach, you will definitely be able to get Pangar and Dreadfrost. Dreadfrost and Karabakh, I think you'll get it at the beginning itself, if I'm not wrong. Or at least the Boreas Dreadfrost, you should be able to get it. It's mainly for the slots to get Iceborne. Anyways, the link's gonna be in the description. You guys can check it out. What I'm gonna do right now is pretty much do a gameplay for all the particular strikers, and you guys can see what it does and kind of judge my gameplay, obviously, whether or not I'm actually good with the strikers. But these are what I have a lot of fun with now, so I thought I'll share it with you guys. So please do enjoy the video. And here we go. I'm gonna start off with the Umbral as usual. This is my favorite because of the speed, attack speed it can give me. And of course I'm going to use this against the opposite elemental type of behemoth, which is obviously the Radiant. I could go for Valomir, but obviously I'll choose Razakiri. Always trying to choose the highest or strongest of the behemoth tiers. Razakiri and Shroud being the final endgame bosses right now in the game. Well, apart from the trials related behemoths, which are completely modified. Don't even get me started with the trials. Oh, and by the way, these builds, don't try it in the trials. Or actually, you know what? You can try it. Who am I to say don't? Just try whatever you want to with the builds that I'm sharing with you guys. But yeah, here's the gameplay. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I enjoy myself as well. Here we go. I do like the hunt pass this time. The transmogs look really well detailed. Way better than the previous one. The weird I don't know, neon light kind of thing. It looks simple, but a lot of neon lights or whatever. Nothing too detailed. But here we go. I am definitely gonna have fun with this one because I really like the Wild Frenzy, kind of giving me a bit of speed of attack. Oh, yo, shout out to Noxious Smoke. Yo, Noxious, if you're watching this video later or anytime. Oh, did you guys see that? Right now my discipline is active and I have only +3 discipline on this build. Obviously this one is not a critical type of damage dealer much. It just has 7.5% of critical strike chance because of the discipline. But I'm using discipline mainly because it starts off at 50% health and it doesn't go beyond that. Even if I get health orbs from some other player in a team. But let's see how this goes. Oh, come on. And done. Okay, like you saw, I did not use any potions, and apart from the time I took to reach the behemoth while I was talking, it took me only 3 minutes 30 seconds to get Razakiri down with the striker, so you can judge the amount of damage this thing can deal against the opposite type of elemental. And also because of the attack speed, I was able to keep continuously doing a lot of damage per hit, and it was a decent speed too, and it didn't feel like the behemoth was kinda going around too many places and making me chase around it. So I had a decent time and also a decent amount of damage because of the rage getting activated and constantly doing knockout king damage, which is 30% stagger damage. And also dodging through attacks helps me do extra 100% stagger damage too. So that's the best thing about Knockout King in your builds. And of course, conditioning always kind of helps. That's the reason why I'm using the particular Karabakh boots for all the builds. You can see, oh wait, except for the last builds, I'm using everything else. I'm using Karabakh. The last one, I'll tell you why it's different. But anyways, going to the Radiant version of the build right now, pretty much I have a monk style of transmog going on for everything. Radiant. And it's the same armor parts again. Only thing that changed is the strikers. As you can see, I'm using Razakiri strikers right now. And I put in a cunning cell and also used a discipline cell, which makes my +3 discipline go all the way to +6. And now I have cunning also, which means a total of 25 critical strike chance I get from these two stacking together, and extra 30% critical strike damage. Because of the 25% chance, it's really high. I don't know if I'll be able to do the most highest damage or whatever, but Discipline will keep my health at 50%, which means even though I don't have Wild Frenzy in this build, I should have a decent amount of attack speed by default. And here we go, I'm going against Mr. Shroudy Poo because it's the opposite elemental. I mean, I could use Rift Stalker for example, but Shroud is the highest right now in Umbral elemental tier, so we'll go for that guy. Shroud and Razakiri, always the test subjects for the weapon builds, I would say. You either get them or they get you. Either or. Anyways, here we go. This is my Razakiri build. Mainly crit damage, critical strike chance builds. More towards the stagger and also critical hits. Rather than stagger and speed, this one stagger and crits. Next one, I'll let you know what you can. Well, you can actually decide whether or not you want to change some of these builds to your own playstyle. But what I usually do is, what I figured out is that mantras always kind of get activated in order. When I say mantras, I mean the special attack that you kind of use by clicking on the special attack button. Those mantras do not depend on which combo you're gonna be using. Combo is different, meaning combos are this: 1, 2, 3, the light attack, 1 light attack, heavy attack, and then that, and then only heavy attacks. These are the 3 combos you have, right? These are the combos. That's what is given as 1, 2, and 3. You can see on the right side I'm pointing with the cursor. 1, 2, 3. So what I figured out is that for the mantras to get activated, which means Tempest Form and Karma Breakers are what I use a lot to activate, and then keep using it on the Behemoth as much as possible because they're pretty fast to get activated. So what I do is either I use the light attacks first, 1, 2, 3, and then hold down the special attack button because the first mantra gets activated. It doesn't matter if I use the first combo, which is light attacks, or it doesn't matter if I use the heavy attacks combo first, 2 and 3. Whichever combo you use, it's always gonna activate the first particular mantra for you to use as a special. So this is the one that kind of imbues your weapon with the with your elemental type of buff, which I will show you. You guys just watch the gameplay and keep whatever I told you guys in mind. And I probably wasted enough time chatting. They really need to fix this part. Oh, he's right here. Okay, good. Hopefully I get this done in a decent time. See, I activated the first one now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. And gotcha. I activated the second one. 1, 2, and 3. Now I can activate the third one and do higher damage. And I have to wait for this guy. Oh, mistimed it. Oh, that was too close. Ah, come on, why am I mistiming it? What? I still got hit. Oh, come on, I'm not getting the stagger done properly. There we go. Activate one. Then activate the second. Oh no. I completely mistimed everything right now, so everything's all gone wrong. Oh, come on, man. Okay, I got that. Oh, I messed it up completely. I totally got way too overconfident with this. Oh, come on! Oh, don't tell me he got away. You gotta be kidding me. I totally messed that up, but as you can see, I know where he is. Look at those numbers. My second ability, which is the Karma Breakers, are active right now still, even though he ran away. And you can see how much damage it's doing slowly. And the stagger is kinda still ready. Oh, what the? Okay. Now come on, where are you? There you are. Okay, come on. Gotcha. Wait, I got him. What? Oh. Man, this was not the best gameplay, I would say, but something better than nothing. But you guys got to know how much damage this thing does even without using potions. Obviously, I haven't perfected the strikers against Shroud very clearly. But you get to see what the damage numbers are because of it. And also it does a really good job too. You can use the radiant weapons against others also if you want to, because it has the cunning +6 and discipline +6, which kind of increases the critical strike chance to 25%, which is a lot. And also cunning gives you extra 30% damage out of it. And of course this one does have the knockout king and rage as usual. And since these are blunt weapons, they do a certain type of stagger, and knockout king definitely is something that you may want to kind of prefer using most of the time for this particular weapon at least. And now switching to the fire type, I'm gonna be switching to probably what might be the most OP particular build for strikers. I just modified it so that I can use Iceborne in it. I pretty much have knockout king, overpowered, rage hunter, and also +3 conditioning as usual, and Iceborne. Only thing missing here is my critical hits. And what I do use for... oh, I totally forgot to tell you guys. The first two builds I was using, the special attack or the special ability I used was Titan's Crash for the first one. And this one, what it does is it's like a huge clapping animation or something that produces a huge wave of damage, and only works best when you've activated the first two particular mantras. And when you use the third mantra or the third particular special, and you have to be very close to the behemoth to do a lot of damage. If you're far away from the behemoth, it won't do any proper damage, or it may not even reach the behemoth at all. It's not like the first particular ability or skill where this one does some kind of a beam attack, like as if it's a laser beam that you're sending, the adamant bolt. But for the first two particular builds, I'm using the Titan Crash, and of course the mod is the Echo Brace Driver, which kind of helps with the critical strikes also, and because of which it also increases damage over time by 5%. This one really helps with the build I'm using right now. I mean, you can switch to the Cyclonic Strike Plate if you want to. If you're someone who uses the first mantra a lot, like this one, the Tempest form, keep doing the dash and also kind of using the elemental buff all the time. If you're used to that particular game style or gameplay, you can keep, or if your muscle memory is kind of stuck to that, you can always use that particular mod to help you out with the extra 15% damage in the last 10 seconds of your buff. But right now what I'm gonna be using is the Fire Elemental, the second last of my build, which is probably the most OP build I have, overpowered build I have compared to the other three. But I can only say that looking at the stats, it's all gonna depend on my gameplay right now and the behemoth I'm gonna be fighting. So I don't know which behemoth, ice behemoth would be the best to try it on, but I would say going against Dreadfrost Boreas itself would be the best one, right? Because it's all the way at the top of the list. Heroic Winterhorn. Oh, okay, we're going for Heroic Winterhorn, not Dreadfrost. We're going for Winterhorn. It's probably the highest tier since it's at the top of the list, so we'll go for that. And again, this is the fire type elemental strikers I'm using, and this is probably the strongest one I have in all the 4 builds, the strongest of the build in the 4 of them, just because it has Rage Hunter, Overpowered Rage and Knockout, all 4 of this. And I kind of introduced Iceborne just to give me an edge to stay alive. Oh, and by the way, this one does not have discipline, so I'm not gonna be starting off at 50% health. So I have to make sure I kind of get hurt by the behemoth, which I think is pretty possible because I'm pretty sure I'm used to getting hit because I'm too overconfident that I have Iceborne and I go straight into the damage path. So here we go. This is my Ninja Shaolin guy with the mask, not showing his face. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the gameplay part of the video at least. You guys can always try to change the builds your own way. Maybe this might kind of give you more ideas for what you want to do with your builds. Maybe. He's not here. Is he at the center? Not at the center. He's all the way at the back over there of the island. Oh, speaking of which, I need to gather materials for my bounties. Ooh, I totally forgot to ask. Could you guys put in the comments down below and kind of say yes or no to, do you like the new bounty system? And if you do, out of 0 to 10, how much would you give it as a rating? 0 to 10, rate the bounty system that we have right now. Oh, that one hit me hard. Oh no, get out of this, get out of this, get out of this, get out of this. Thank you. I'm supposed to be interrupting it at that point. I'm getting hit rather than doing the hitting. There we go, finally. See that damage I just did? Whoa, where'd it go? What the? I'm so stupid. Oh, come on, I got killed. No, this is not good for the build I'm trying to show off. Look at that damage number right there. And now that it's staggered, oh, did you guys see that? That last shot. I mean, the snow blizzard was kind of covering everything up, but this is probably the most highest damaging type of a build. I didn't even try hard, to be honest. I was just trying hard to dodge though, but I wasn't trying too hard to get the combos activated. It was pretty high damaging as usual, but I did get killed because I was too overconfident as usual. I did get a golden offensive core. Oh, nice. Oh, by the way, again, like I was saying, please do put down in the comments whether or not you guys kinda like the new bounty system, and rate it from 1 to 10 or something. I want to know how many of you like the new bounty system, because I'm really having fun with it. It kind of keeps you in a proper flow of things. It just keeps you going and going and going, keep changing. And by the way, I have been doing a lot of dire patrols, heroic patrols and heroic plus patrols. And every now and then, whenever I'm close to finishing off a bounty, or if I finish off a bounty, I always, in the next very few hunts or something that I do at the higher tier, I end up getting a token. So in case anyone's worried about not having enough tokens, please do the higher level behemoth hunts and do a good job at it too. It doesn't matter if it's dire patrol, heroic or heroic plus. You do have a good chance of getting it, but make sure it's at the dire patrol level or something. I mean, I've done it in Terra Patrol also, ended up getting tokens by defeating Koshai and all that. But as usual, the tiers of behemoth also depend on the types, so make sure it's a higher tier behemoths. Always somewhere around the level of Koshai when it comes to Terra. When it comes to Shock, always choose like Stormclaw or Tempest or Neizaga types. Higher tier behemoths, that's what I mean. And when it comes to ice types, always go for maybe Winterhorn and Frostback Pangar, not the normal ones. The higher tier behemoth types or the variants would be the best for you to have a chance of getting tokens. That's one thing. Now, getting to my ice build, this is something that I wanted to test yesterday and I don't remember if I did, but this one doesn't have Rage Hunter. But what I did is I removed the Rage Hunter from this build and introduced the Discipline to this build. So what this build has the overpowered, knockout, rage and also Iceborne, along with which it gets 15% critical strike chance as well. So I get a decent amount of critical strike chances, and also it makes sure that my health is always at 50%, which means my rage is activated as soon as I enter the island or land on the island, and keeps my 25% damage constant while I make sure I do a lot of stagger. And then once the behemoth gets staggered, overpowered breaks loose and does the rest of the damage. Here we go. And of course, the weapon I'm using does have its own perks too. All the weapons that I use have their own special perks which add to the build, so I did not speak about that. I probably would have missed out quite a few things about explaining what I'm using in the build and why, but I'll explain it once I finish this particular gameplay with the ice build. And since I'm using ice, I have to use the highest tier of Blaze, which means that is Heroic Scorchstone. Oh boy, this guy doesn't get interrupted but does get staggered. So let's see if I can do a good job. Obviously I'm gonna get into trouble because as you can see, I'm using two Pangar armor sets, and these things have minus 25 resistance towards fire, which means I will be getting killed by just the fire damage itself and not by the behemoth. The behemoth's fire elemental is going to be more dangerous rather than the behemoth itself in this particular hunt. But if I'm capable of dealing a good amount of damage and make sure that this particular Boreas Dreadfrost weapon kind of creates its frost sprites, those small fairy-like creatures, the snow fairy-like creatures that kind of keep flying around because of them giving me the damage buff. You know what I'm talking about with the Dreadfrost. It kind of creates those frost sprites that float around behind me. They're the ones that give extra damage buff on my next hit or something. Something similar to Riftstalker weapons, which give you some purple ghost-like orbs or spirit kind of a deal, that effect. And as you can see, the discipline is already active, keeping my Iceborne active and rage also active. You can see the sword and shield icon on the top. Obviously the Iceborne being the shield icon and the swords, the crosswords being the rage, giving me the 25% of damage. That's gonna be constant. It's not like Predator where if I get hit it's gonna disappear. Even though it's 10% less damage compared to the Predator cells, it's not gonna disappear. It's gonna be constantly there. So here we go. No attack speed on this one either, so oh, I got hit. Yeesh. Stagger damage, come on. And as you can see, I am using the Drask Lantern all of a sudden to increase damage on this. Oh, the blaze. That's not a good thing ever. Oh, he's going into rage mode. And I've lost my chance. Oh, I went flying. I'm still flying. Get up, get up, get up. I'm trying to avoid the fire damage as much as possible, but this one... There we go. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, that was close. The ice damage on it, what it does is it kind of slows the behemoth down. And guessing how its attack speed is going to be, I have to dodge a bit late compared to what I used to. And my friends, I'm done. Yo, that's the build and that's the gameplay for today. And check out the time. You can see what it does without me using potions. Obviously, I'm not the best striker user just by looking at my gameplay. I'm not utilizing all of its attacks to the fullest and to an efficient level. But these builds do kind of provide you with a lot of fun and also a lot of damage. So I'm just sharing this particular video with you guys. Hopefully you guys like this video. And again, I will be putting the links in the description for the Dauntless builder of each build which I just showed you, the striker builds. And before I end this video, let me just explain that why I'm using the type of special abilities or mods for that particular striker. Right now I'm using the Riftstalker for attack speed. Because of the attack speed, I don't have to worry about keeping myself too far away from the behemoth and doing the particular adamant bolt kind of a strike. And since I'm always using a close combat type of a deal because I'm too overconfident with my Iceborne keeping me safe, what I do is I use Titan Crash, which kinda works best when you're really close to the behemoth. Meaning if you're far away from the behemoth and use this, like even if it's like a distance of 3 players away from the behemoth, you're not gonna do that much amount of damage. So make sure you're very close to it, like hitting range, like one arm distance kind of a deal, and then make sure you use it that close. The animation has a kind of a huge clapping style of attack. It's like one clapping action that the animation has, which does the damage. It seems like it. I don't know if it exactly is that because it's way too fast, and I kind of figured it's the clapping style of animation, so I'm just saying it. I'm not really sure, so don't hold me to that particular info, but what I'm saying is stay close to the behemoth and then use the particular third mantra. And again, like I said before, mantras don't depend on which combo you use first, meaning you can always use the third combo first or second combo first or the first combo first. It's still gonna activate the mantras in their respective orders, which means that Tempest form is going to get activated first, even if you use the third or second combos over here on the right. Or if you make sure you've activated the Tempest form, which means it's ready for activation, you can always use another combo to activate the second Karma. So it's always in order that the mantras work and not in the order as the combos that you used. So mantras, always you have to make sure Tempest form gets activated first, and then only you can use Karma Breakers, which means you have to activate Tempest form again and then Karma Breakers gets a chance to get activated. Then you have to use Karma Breakers, and then again you have to start from Tempest form, then Karma Breakers, and then you get to use the third mantra. Hopefully that makes sense, whatever I said, and I did not confuse you guys, I hope. But moving on to the next one, which is my Radiant style, which is for the crit damage. Again, I'm using the same Titan's Crash, But for this one, you guys can always switch to Adamant Bolt also. Both of these special abilities kinda work good. I've tested it out. But right now I'm kinda using Titan's Crash itself with this particular crit build. And of course I'm using the Echo Brace driver mainly because of the critical build that it provides. And this one mainly increases critical strike damage. And also over time it increases by 5%. So this one really works out very well for this particular build. That's why I use those two. And moving on to the next two, which where I kind of use the Drask Lantern to increase the damage output for both of these two, the fire and ice. But for the first two, I'm using Embermane's Rapture Lantern because I kind of like the attack speed that I get for these two. Here I don't really care about the attack speed, it's all about power. So pretty much this one in particular, the one with the Hellion Strikers, feels like it can do a lot more damage output. You guys can obviously tamper with the builds and then make your own style depending on your gameplay or depending on whether it's comfortable for you or whatever cells you like. You can try it out with this builds, but you will probably lose some other skill if you're trying to introduce something else. But still, good luck with the builds. And the first three builds, obviously they don't change the armor part, so it's pretty easy to just copy paste to the next slot. It'll be easier for you to kind of get things done. Only thing will change is the repeaters. I mean, not repeaters. I knew I'll say repeaters at some point. Strikers. Strikers are what is going to change for the first three instead of the armor and the cells. But yeah, the Hellion is probably the most powerful one, I would say, because it provides me more opportunity for Rage Hunter and Overpowered to be introduced into this build. Only thing I'm losing here is the critical strikes, so I don't have to worry about the critical strike. And of course I don't have attack speeds on the last three. It's only the attack speed for this one, the Riftstalker. I still say Riftstalker is probably the most fun. I mean, you guys saw Razakiri taken down in 3 minutes 30 seconds, the actual hunt time, rather than me timing it on the first hit. I don't use timers for that. I just take whatever time that I get from the beginning of the island arrival. So anyways, for this one again I'm using the Adamant Bolts because it does really high damage because of the crit chance. Wait, this one doesn't have crit chance, so yeah, this one does only around probably 3000 to 4000 damage when you use the Adamant Bolt. But always make sure the first two mantras are active on the behemoth. The first mantra is something that imbues your weapon with the elemental that you have as a buff. This one will be there for a short duration, so what you do is make sure you activate the Karma Breaker first, which means the second mantra, hit the behemoth and get it activated. It's gonna be there for at least close to 30 seconds, so it's a long duration. Within this time you can obviously kinda use your Tempest form, which is your first mantra, and get it activated, and then go directly to the third form, which is the Adamant Bolt, and then unleash the damage. And of course the Adamant Bolt does like a laser beam kind of an attack, which does really high damage. As long as the first two mantras are active, it's going to do above 1500 damage or 2000 plus damage for sure. But if it's not activated, the first two mantras, if it's not activated, then the Adamant Bolts or any particular special, if the first two mantras are not active, the third mantra, if you use it, it's not gonna do the highest damage. So make sure always you time it right. And my gameplay style is always me using the first particular mantra and the second particular mantra and keep going back and forth with only those two for a lot of hits. And once the behemoth gets staggered, that's when I kinda get ready for my third mantra to be used on the staggered behemoth. And I only use that game style with this particular build and the ice build. That's because these two have the overpowered, which help me out with the extra damage on staggered behemoths. 70% extra damage on staggered behemoth. So that game style works best with these two builds. Now moving on to the other ice build, also again same thing, adamant bolt, and then oh, I'm using echo driver. No, yeah, actually I'm using echo brace driver. I still haven't unlocked the other particular mods just yet, so unless I do that, I'll probably switch to the next one that I unlock. I'm still at mastery rank 14 for the strikers, as you can see. I probably need to start upgrading some strikers to get more XP. But anyways, you guys get the point, and this is my builds. And again, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay, the time pass gameplay for Sunday. I usually don't stream on Sundays, but lately I haven't streamed because my voice was not good. Now it seems to have recovered, so I probably might start streaming next week. So I'll see you guys then. So until then, you guys always keep smiling and have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. And as always, a sayonara, a tata, a see you, and bye bye. Yeah, I'm done with this video. I'll put the links in the description. You guys can check it out. If you want to tamper with the builds and then test it out yourself, and let me know what you guys think about my builds, please do put it down in the comments. And of course, please do let me know if you guys have an opinion about the bounty system, because I'm really liking the new bounty system and how I get to earn the points. I'm liking it. It may not be the usual break part damage and get easy standing points for the hunt pass, but this one kind of keeps things in a flow. It has some kind of a continuity, I would say, so it kind of keeps things going one by one. You finish one challenge, you have tokens, you can go for it. If you don't have tokens, you can always get tokens by doing higher level behemoth hunts. It has a chance of giving you tokens at the end of the reward table, so it's always shown at the top of the reward table too. Once the hunt ends in the reward table, it's always at the top, showing you that whether or not you got the tokens. The tokens are always at the top so that you know if you got it or if you did not get it. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I know it's a pretty lengthy video, but I did have some gameplay and also my builds in it. And you guys have a good weekend, like I said, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, I'm done. Sayonara, atata, I'll see you, and bye bye. See ya. Alright, come on. See ya. Stop the video. Yeah, see ya.